This chick Maki really pulled an Itachi, huh? JJK has been throwing us some crazy chapters of the past month, and seeing as Gege is on his Hunter x Hunter shit, what better time to make sense of it all? For starters, the question that everyone's been begging me to answer in the comments. How the hell did Maki get this busted? Well, let's run it back from the beginning. Starting at chapter 149, we can see that Ogi Zenin wins Scumbag of the Year, dragging his unconscious daughter Maki, along with her sister Mai, and dumping them in a room full of grade 2 cursed spirits. Gotta love family reunions, right? After Ogi leaves, Mai gets up and checks on Maki, who is apparently still clinging on to life. To save Maki, Mai gives her mouth to mouth? After a moment, Maki wakes up in your classic manga scenario. A random cryptic scenery with your dying character saying some random cryptic shit right before they die. Classic! Fast forward to reality and Mai has passed away, but behind she leaves an oddly familiar cursed weapon and a Maki that seems to have had a major Zenkai boost. So big in fact that Ogi swears he's facing Toji. But before you know it, the only thing Ogi is facing is that dirty pavement, because Maki pulls up with a clean one shot before going on to box up the rest of her family members. So there's just one question that's probably bugging most of the readers at this point. What the fuck happened to Maki? Well, first we have to go into binding vows and how it relates to this according to Mai. According to the sources of all things Jujutsu, a binding vow is a pact made with the Jujutsu world that creates conditions for themselves or agreements with others. If you think back to Mai's conversation with Maki, a binding vow is part of what made Maki so powerful. In fact, it was Mai's last words after the exchange that she made with Maki. But promise me one thing, destroy everything. At face value, it's easy to write this off as just another edgy ending, but Maki's actions afterwards say otherwise. When saying sorry to Mai and attempting to surrender to the Zenin clan, Mai's promise is shown again in black, and Maki, seemingly almost possessed, reactively cuts the nearest person next to her, almost as if against her will. Then later on, when Naota asks jokingly if Maki has a heart, she says no, it was taken from me. We even see Maki kill her mother, and later on the entire Zenin clan, even people that had nothing to do with her ill treatment, very different to the Maki that we've known so far. So what does this all add up to? Well, the facts add up to one very clear binding vow made between Mai and her sister, Maki. In exchange for great power from Mai's sacrifice, Maki was cursed to surrender her control and destroy the entire Zenin clan. The main question now is if this is a temporary curse that's only applied for the Zenin clan, or more of a permanent change in Maki, but that's something that we'll need future chapters to know for sure. But I guess this means Maki can't fulfill her dream of becoming the head of Zenin, huh? Rest in peace, the bag that fumbled. Crazy part is, this is only half the reason Maki came out of that cursed pit looking like Toji. Remember, before kicking the bucket, Mai explains that the binding vow is only an extreme version of the more everyday principle that sorcerers get stronger in short periods of time. In the words of the great Mai, to gain something, you must lose something. Based on this panel, it seems that for most sorcerers, your power is increased by suffering through painful experiences, meaning 1, putting yourself in that dangerous situation, and 2, having the mentality to overcome it. We can see some easy examples of this in the past. For example, Megumi versus the impossibly strong Sukuna finger and unlocking domain expansion, Gojo being literally killed by Toji and unlocking the skill to manipulate positive energy, and even Yuji versus one of the main special grade spirits in the beginning, coincidentally using Black Flash for the first time. So why haven't we seen Maki get these huge boosts in ability like everyone else? We know that she has the same heavenly restriction as Toji, the guy who was good enough to kill Gojo, which in exchange for 0 curse energy gives her an insane potential for human strength and capabilities. We also know that she's fought against some of the strongest characters in the manga, including Hanami, the special grade curse spirit, and Dagon, an even stronger being with a busted domain expansion that left even the special grade 1 Nabito Zenin helpless. So where's Maki's well-deserved Zenkai boost, at least until now? It turns out that the reason behind Maki lagging behind throughout the series was a person. Someone who was holding back our character this entire time. Mai. According to Mai, for twins, there's a limit on your individual power that's dependent on your counterpart, because the Jujutsu world is clinically blind and only sees you as half of a whole rather than a different person. This is a really weird concept, so let me break it down into simpler terms. Even if Maki gave her 100% in training through dangerous situations to get stronger, at most, that would be considered 50% to the Jujutsu world and not a complete sacrifice. Why? Because Mai says herself she doesn't want to get stronger. Likewise, even if Mai has a curse technique, Maki doesn't, so she can only get it stronger by herself, which makes sense when you realize how weak Mai's curse technique is compared to the rest of the Zenin clan and other characters. Basically, when having twins, the chances are that both are going to come out mediocre when it comes to fighting ability, due to this weird glitch in the power system, which is another reason why both Maki and Mai got so much shit just for being born. This means that within the Jujutsu world, there was only one way that Maki could reach her full potential. Mai would have to die. Add all these details together, and the sudden change in Maki's abilities become crystal clear. Thanks to her sister's dying binding vow, along with the release from her twin constraints and already potent heavenly restriction, we have a Maki that is hella close, if not beyond, the Toji that so many of us were comparing her to. The narrator describes her as a body of steel, one that is much tougher, stronger, and faster than before. Plus, you can't forget that special grade curse tool, the one that's eerily similar to the one used by Toji, and is still shrouded in mystery. Based on her basically one-shot fights with her father, along with the members of Hei, most notably Naoya Zenin, who gave both Yuji and Chozo a hard time, it's safe to say that the description for special grades fits Maki to the T. But yeah, this is what I think about Maki's transformation, as well as Mai's last words on binding vows and whatnot. Really interested to see how Gege follows this up after his back pain hiatus. Is Maki still a bloodthirsty psycho? Or was that just a Zenin thing? Gonna probably be making a few more videos like this, so character and power analyses, maybe some juicy theories if I see anything crazy. So stay tuned for those weekly videos every Sunday, 12 PM EST, classics only. Anyway, it's been your boy Kuma, and as always, stay frosty. Peace!